Welcome everybody to the August market update. We're going to start out with this chart of owners' equity in homes since the year 2000. Right now, we have an absolutely massive amount of homeowner equity. Debt on U.S. homes is 13 trillion. The equity is 32 trillion. So when everyone's wondering how do people afford to buy homes these days? Well, the reason is most of the people who are buying homes have already owned them. If you've owned a home for any amount of time, you've done phenomenally well. So this is just a lesson to us. If you see there's these little dips, but the moral of the story is I wish I bought more homes here at the high. I wish I bought more homes here at the low. Pretty much throughout the whole time, if you could buy a home a year, you'd be doing really well. Into some big headlines here. Has anyone heard of the rate drop this month? This has been pretty big news, and we're real curious to see how this shakes out. Rates down to 6.4, major drop in the last couple months. This is a little visual of what this demand situation looks like. You know, the demand starts getting better as we get under 7, and now we're kind of going to experiment with what happens when we get good or strong demand with a huge amount of inventory on the market. Here's a little visual to see what your payment would have been on April on a $500,000 loan, $3,500, versus now with the lower rates, your payment's $3,100. So it's just a little more palatable. This makes the buying, you're having a little more fun when your payment's this and you're shopping for homes, and then your payment is this. And this makes a pretty big difference on the lifespan of a loan. So again, we're going to watch and see how does this affect things. Because what I think we're gearing up for, okay, right now this is 2023 annual existing home sales. Lowest we've seen since 1995 nationwide. Wow, you wouldn't think it was that bad, right? But it is. Look at that. And it's very similar to the 2009 collapse era, and we've had the same number of home sales. We're tracking the same year, 2024. So I think we're coiling, right? Because you see these home sales go up, they go in cycles. So we're in a down cycle. The question is when we're going to get out of it. Difference between 1995 and 2023 is 70 more million people live in the United States. 70 more million people. So there is coiling demand that's been building and brewing, and the question is when is it going to come through? And we're gearing up for a pretty busy 2025 based on the indicators we're watching. So Bend Beacon report, days on market's going up 25. This is pretty big for August. 4 months of inventory. MLS data, 672 total listings in Bend. That's up again. 49 is the days on market for actives, which is obviously even longer for actives than solds because they're active, they're not selling. Over half of the listings for sale have changed price, and they've changed price by reducing up over 6%. Here's a little look into the supply chart. This is just great to see because what this means to me is this gives buyers options. You know, there's nothing to choose from for many years around here, but now you've got plenty to choose from and rates are lower. Days on market, 25. This is an inviting little number for a buyer, you know? It's a lot more fun to shop when you don't have to rush out and get your offer in that first day. Obviously, those things still do happen on hot listings that are priced right, but you have a little bit of time to think about things and negotiate. Median price per square foot was down just a little bit this month. Now last year, here's the fall, right? September peak ticked up, but then went down into February. The year before that, we saw August. It kind of went down into February. Right now, we're entering that time when it's just a great time to be a buyer, not so great to be a seller. Now, if you're selling and buying, you could be a wash, whether the market's good, bad, or indifferent. You're selling, you're buying, you got to take advantage of both sides. But for buyers who've been on the fence waiting, we're just in this, really the water's nice, there's lots to choose from. Sellers are happy when you show up with a nice offer, so it's an interesting market. Bottom line, we got the best buying conditions we've seen in years right now. I think they're going to continue on through the election and then into December, and I think January off to the races. And January 25 shaping up to be extremely competitive. Lots of seller competition right now, so if you are a seller, you need to be patient if you can afford to be. And when I say patient, I mean patient. Like, are you patient until next year? Because if you don't want to be patient through January, November, December, January, during those poor selling environments, then you need to be aggressive now. You can't play games and wait for those showings to happen. You have to force those showings to happen by being the best quality and best price in your category. So if you or anyone has a question that you want to consult, make sure that you're talking with someone who's doing business in this market, who's familiar with the trends and familiar with what's going on. Myself or anyone on the Ben Relo team would be happy to help.